Okay, this lecture is chapter 18 from the book Underground Study Skills Time Management by me, Pete Rogers. Okay, first a quote by Ben Franklin: "Dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for that is the stuff life is made of." So this, goes back to when I started out as a college freshman. My new goal was to become a better student. So I took out a piece of paper and I wrote down how to become a better student. And on the second piece of paper, I wrote down time management. And I wrote down each 1 hour interval. You could write down each 30-minute interval. And then I analyzed how my time was being used. And you want to go through your entire day and systematically make sure that you are not wasting any time. Look for any area where you're wasting time and stop doing that. For example, you should never watch TV. TV is a complete waste of time. If you're wasting time, there's something wrong with your personal philosophy of life. TV is just brainwashing for low IQ people. Okay, the next thing is you should never listen to beat music. If you want to become an intelligent, well-educated person, you're going to have thoughts and new information constantly kind of moving around in your brain. The problem with beat music is the beat type sound, beat music, grunge music, all of that stuff. It's very bad for the brain. You cannot do two things at the same time with the cognitive thinking part of your brain. So whenever there's beat music on, it just boom, 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 pushes the thought out of your brain. So it makes you stupid. Don't ever listen to that stuff. You can listen to it briefly while you're lifting weights if you really want to, but you really don't need it. It's a bunch of crap. So never listen to beat music. These are basic philosophies. For example, when you're in a car, you should always be listening to an audiobook or an intelligent video from your phone or something. Always make use of that time. Your car, when you're commuting somewhere, it's like a classroom. You can only do one thing at a time that uses your brain thinking ability. But you can simultaneously, for example, walk around while you eat and you listen to an audiobook. You can do that because your brain is hearing the audiobook, your muscles are walking, your digestive system is eating the food. Those three things can be done together because each one's using a different body system. Other things are you want to simplify your life. You want to simplify your life as much as you can. For example, I would only have one type of underwear, one type of socks, maybe two socks at the most. White socks for exercise, black socks for dress socks, but keep everything really simple. So you don't even have to think in the morning when you put on a pair of underwear. It's always the same. And I would wear t-shirts a lot of times. Maybe if you're only wearing a t-shirt, just wear a different t-shirt, but I would limit my clothing as much as possible. Everything simple and automatic. So the only challenge to your brain for the day is to think about whatever you're doing academically. Then you need two types of schedules. Number one, you need a schedule of how you spend, every 30-minute segment of your day. You also need a schedule, for the entire semester. And this is a picture of me when I was in my freshman dorm room, and I had a big schedule of the entire semester, really the entire year. I couldn't wait to go home to see my girlfriend. And it helps you keep track. Are you making the expected progress for your midterms, for your final exams, for your standardized exams? And you want to know, you learn to calibrate when you've got more time being a student, but are you keeping up with the class? And you can kind of tell when you hear other students talking to each other. Are you as far along? Do you know the material as well as they do? And do everything you can to get the most out of your time as a student. For example, when you go to class, always sit in the front row. I can't think off the top of my head of an exception to that. I always sit in the front row. You can pay a lot better attention to the teacher. There's no distractions. As you look at your entire day, if you can get two birds done with one stone, fine. If there's a certain location of things else that you have to do, figure out how to do everything as efficiently as possible so you get as much work done as possible. This little analysis of things makes a big difference in the long run. Make sure you're eating healthy and all that other stuff too. If you're an equal skill to the other students in your class, the way you're going to become better than them is to have better study skills, better memorization techniques, better time management, healthier diet, better sleep. So try to make everything as good as you can. Study on the weekends. Study on the vacations. Study in advance of a class. Study before the lecture the night before. As you do that more, you'll build endurance, and if you have the personal philosophy, I'm here to learn, not just get a good grade, you'll keep on accumulating information and get better than other people at the school task. Because most people just want to get a grade and get on with their life, get a degree, but if you're trying to really learn, then you remember stuff better. You got to keep a study schedule for each individual semester so you're pacing yourself correctly, you're keeping up with your class. Let's see. And you can kind of tell how you're doing by how well you do on quizzes and midterms, and again, how well you know the material relative to other kids talking about it. I don't like people asking me my grades or test scores, so I would never reveal that information, but some people are kind of obnoxious and talk about it all the time. Let's see. You have to make your academics your priority. Design your life around it. Let's see. I would keep things really simple. I had only one cup and one plate and one knife and fork for myself. I didn't even have a girlfriend most of the time unless she visited me, my old high school girlfriend. So basically, I would and I've never used a dishwasher. I just rinse it off when I was done. If you live in your home with your mom, you just have your mom shop for you. Again, you don't want to do anything you don't have to. When I was in med school, I'd go home on the weekends. My mom would do my laundry. She was nice about that. That was good for me. I'd cut my hair real short so I didn't have to bother with it. I didn't want to waste a minute. So anyways, when you simplify your life, you free up more time for concentration and thinking about studying and learning, and you become a better student. So I hope that's helpful.